Sweet, I'm so tired of you. Every dog must have his day. Sweet, I'm so tired of you. Sweet, I'm so tired of you treating me this way. I'm sick and then I'm sweet, I'm so tired of you. Sweet, I'm so tired of you treating me this way. And some human treat me this way. Sweet, I'm so tired of you.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Are we live?
Yeah. You're
Oh, we're live.
We're live from Westlake Village, California. This is Coach B.
And this is Audie.
And welcome to episode 2 of Dig Deep with Audie and Coach B.
Oh, you said it right this time.
Did I say it right this time?
Yeah. What did you say last time? You said it backwards.
Coach B and Audie.
Yeah.
But you paid for the rights for that, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is 7:28 p.m. and I'm drinking a nice cup of coffee to keep me up for you guys watching and listening to this episode. Wherever you're at, I hope you're enjoying this episode. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. We got some great feedback. That was our first episode together in the wild, and it was good.
I still get a little nervous, but I get over it after a while. That's just how I am.
Well, she can tell she's looking
I know,
at,
I'm like,
she's looking at me to
what do I say? What
she's
do I
looking at
what
me
do I
to
say? What do I do?
talk.
Well, you're more, again.
I talk too much from
Yeah.
what Daisy says. Shout out Daisy. So I'm not gonna talk and let Audie do all the work today.
No, I need you to talk.
So I guess a lot has happened
Yeah, over the
past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been kind of a hectic 3 weeks for us, from racing to SoCal Trail Tour of LA stuff for me, and
Just life in general.
life in general.
Just
Jeez
dealing
Louise.
with everyday life, interesting stuff that happens with life, and
Trying to balance out
Yeah.
everything, you know. And I know, and our birthdays are coming up in 3 weeks, so that's gonna be kind of crazy. We're gonna have a huge party out here.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
My birthday's next week already, I think.
Oh shit, it is
July
Next
6th.
Oh shit, mine's
And
in
yours
2
in
weeks.
yeah.
Ah,
You're
damn.
July 11th.
Oh man, dang Ed, you should have told me that. Now I look like an idiot.
It's
yeah,
alright,
2
I'll
weeks.
give you a pass. You've been
2
busy.
weeks. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So give or take 2 weeks. But yeah, our birthdays are coming up. So that's exciting. We are both cancers. Mm-hmm. She's the grumpy cancer.
I am not.
I'm the
What?
good
No,
cancer.
you're more grumpy than me. That is not true.
Dig deep with Audie and Coach B.
Okay, you're typically.
Audie's grumpy.
Okay, no. I'm grumpy because you do things that make me grumpy. That's what it is.
We're just kidding. Kidding, not kidding.
No, I'm being serious.
I know you're being serious. As you can't tell, I'm about to get bitch slapped later.
I don't know.
No, yeah, it's been kind of crazy, and we've been on this roller coaster of emotions, roller coaster of recovery, trying to sleep.
God,
I had my race 3 weeks ago, right? 3 weeks ago, beginning of January.
I don't even. January?
Or sorry, June.
Whoa, I think
Time travel.
Whoa, we're in June right now,
yeah.
dude.
I raced 3 weeks ago in June. It was my 50K. So the last episode.
The Malibu 50K.
Yeah, Malibu Canyon's 50K. And yeah, I think we recorded our first episode right before that. It
I
was
think
that,
so,
that week
yeah.
of. And so, thank you everyone again. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, we're going to be uploading this shit in another day or two.
Well, you're not saying the big news about it. He got 4th place
Oh, yeah.
overall.
I got 4th place in my race. It's kind of funny because that's a race that I've been training for so long, but I think it's also a race that I don't even want to say this race itself, but just trying to hit under 5 hours for a 50K in the mountains, close to 5,000 feet of climbing. I was super stoked about it, and talking to my boy Keith about everything and who coaches me, we kind of decided that the next chapter of my life is to keep pushing, get faster and faster so I can better myself mentally and physically, of course. But enough about me. This girl right next to me, she ran her first trail race of the season.
It's been years also.
I don't know. No, it was like a year. You did Boney last year.
No.
That was beginning of Boney, yeah.
Did I race that?
Yeah.
I thought
that was a trail race. But that was like half road, half trail. That was last.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think 2022.
Oh, maybe it has been a couple of years.
I don't know. You're kind of off with days.
I was just looking at it. I was looking at it. That's why. So I was thinking.
No,
it was
it's
2
been a
years
while.
ago.
I think it's been either 2-3 years.
But so we did. So another company I work for, SoCal Trail. They had this.
Shout out to Tina and
Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Family business. They put on races all over Santa Monica Mountains and LA County and whatnot. And they had this race, the first year of this race, and it was like off the hook. Went really well. It's called Red Rock Rumble. And last minute, I decided to sign her up and see what she can do. She has been training more on the roads, but also a little bit of trail, not as much. It was just kind of like, it was more of like a race to see where she was at mentally and physically. And leading up to the race, it got stupid hot. And
but you do this a lot to me. What was it? Boogie Nights, the day of this other little race. Oh, you're gonna PR in this race. You're gonna run it in under 30 minutes. Like, wait, what? Last minute, this guy does this to me. I'm nervous. It's like, okay, I did, and I did do it. I'm proud of myself. And then you sign me up for Red Rock Rumble, and it's like, again? Here we go. What are you going to sign me up for? A freaking ultra marathon next?
I'll run it with you.
Well, I'll do it one day, but I need plenty of training. But back to Red Rock Rumble with the heat.
It was a hot-ass race.
Hot up in that
yeah,
bitch.
I mean, I was filming. I was, part of the operations team of putting it together. So I kind of acclimated a day before that. But, I mean, shit, I couldn't even... That was stupid hot.
That was brutal. So
I think within the first mile, everyone was, like, taking off their shirts, like... just running shirtless. The sun was beaming.
Yeah, I had to run shirtless.
And so it was
really
kind
hot.
of, it was crazy, but congrats to you.
Thank you.
She finished. Congrats to my athletes and club members. You know who you are. Maybe I should say their names.
If you want. Well, I don't know. Well, Cindy, we got to give out a shout out to Cindy.
Cindy got third in age group, and she's been pumping really hard. Shout out to my boy Keith, who got 5th overall.
Go Keith.
John. He did super well. I know he was like top 20, I believe.
Yeah,
Scott did super well.
He did good too. And he doesn't run in heat. He's from San Francisco.
He doesn't run in heat at all.
Goes in there and just kills it.
Last minute awesome. Sign up for him too. We had Anna. Anna killed it as well. Jenny, Margaret, Bridget. Are you missing anything? I think that's it.
I think that's
so
it.
Pretty much those are the club athletes, club members that I've trained that did really well. So that was really cool to see that representing the Run Free shirt. As you can tell, this is the OG shirt that we created months and months ago. Second design's coming out soon
had
enough.
Me wear one.
I know.
One of the tester takes in black. I was melting in that.
Keith had the...
He had the Navy.
He had the Navy one that we're testing out, so
but
soon
it was
enough.
Still, yeah, it was still good. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because we were trying to figure out what we should talk about in this episode. We were like, and then we were like, consistency, accountability,
digging deep of
all that with Audie because we are kind of having a powwow before we got in here on the car, and I was telling her the whole concept of what we want is for you to dig into that well of everything, right? That's why we called it Dig Deep, because I think a lot of us don't really go into that well of our emotions and feelings and everything else that, trauma, whatever it may be. And sometimes we don't want to get there and realize it. And she had an eye-opening thing. And
well, what you had me do is think, no, that's not the reason. You got to think of why. So why do you think your training is not consistent? And then I was like, oh, well, for Red Rock, it was the hills, it was the heat. Well, that's not the issue. And then you kept poking at me, and at first I was getting kind of irritated, and I love to roll my eyes. Sorry, I can't help it. I rolled my eyes. He couldn't tell, but I had my sunglasses.
She wasn't even listening. She was just like, geez, him trying to scold me. But it wasn't even about scolding you. It was because, when I had this conversation with Keith, like the days before my race, he literally just asked me questions like this and I had to sit there and process it. He didn't sit there with me. He gave me some advice and I processed it. I listened to it. And then on the day of the race, for my race, that's when I kind of let go. I mean, the nerves were there, right? Everything I let go. And then when I was feeling a little anxiety from just where I was at, then I was getting more worried. So then I had to kind of relax and stay focused. And then look what happened to me. So I think the same situation with you was she kept on saying, well, I didn't train for this. I didn't train for that. Well, there's a point when... how consistent are you, right? Because we always say consistency is the key to success. And if you are consistent and disciplined and motivated, then it's going to be much easier for you to, process and get into that flow, especially what you want to do within the next, say, 3 years of running, 5 years of running. I know you have big plans of pacing me at some point in a long distance ultra, but I also believe when you physically, mentally can prepare yourself for what's to come, it's easier to process, especially for you, because she tends to hold everything deep in that.
So I could go into that. I could speak on that. So a lot of times I suppress a lot of emotions. I've become the queen of suppressing, but it's well, how is suppressing how I feel serving me? Well, clearly it's not doing me any justice. So I think when I discussed with you in the car was, gosh, I don't even want to get teary, but being vulnerable.
Vulnerability. I did an episode about this on my own podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's deleted, but I literally told her, I said, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's not a weakness at all. And I remember that was one of my most popular episodes was people was coming up to me. It's okay to cry, babe. I don't have tissue. But I told her, I said, vulnerability just shows strength in who you are, that you're able to break down and talk about that stuff and release those emotions and release all that stuff. And
I think I just put so much pressure.
Well, I think there's a judgment aspect of everything. You know what I mean? I think our boy Ed over here saving the day.
Thanks, Ed.
I hope that's bounty. I got to pick up all those tears. So I think I lost track, but I definitely think it opened up that point where you're wow, I didn't realize that I judged myself too much on this, or there's a comparison that you're comparing yourself to all these other people. And it's funny because I literally just posted something today on my Instagram, Run Free Brandon, if you want to follow me. And it literally talks about this guy's poetry. It's so great, but it literally talks about that could be a negative aspect if you just keep focusing on other people's training and focusing on other people's, you're comparing yourself to other people where they're at, but where you're at now is completely different than who you were a year ago, 2 years ago. Yeah,
I compare myself a lot because, life happens. When I was younger, I was a lot faster. Try not to choke. I was a lot faster. I felt like I was a lot stronger, so...
It's okay. Let it out. I think we all do that, though. There's a judgment that we like judge ourselves way too much. I literally just had this conversation with a client earlier, and I told her the same stuff. I said, shout out to who you are. Lives in Simi Valley, but I'll just say that. But I literally just said, you can't judge yourself, and you shouldn't like have to worry about that. Like you should literally just go into your runs for this week knowing that like wherever I'm at, I'm gonna work towards the goal, and I'm gonna get there when I actually do the work, actually like spiritually kind of ground yourself, like when you really sit there and just know, okay, do you know what? Like you got to be kind of real with yourself with that stuff and like really tell yourself those kind of things, because at some point, like if you just keep saying, I'm okay, it's never going to be okay.
No, because I do that. I'm totally guilty of that. I think, okay, now I could finally talk. I'm not like choking on my tears anymore. But it's just one of those things where it's like for me, I compare myself a lot to, when I was like 30 years old, I'm like running a 9-minute pace, an 8:30 pace. I was faster, I'm doing this, and now it's like I'm like not giving myself enough credit to, this journey. And it's like, well, part of it was, I think I took a 2-year hiatus from running.
Well, I mean,
I don't know, but that was I was just going through life, and
I mean, COVID happened.
Well, COVID
you got to be real. Like COVID happened.
I got lazy.
You got lazy.
That's what it is. But
you knew that though.
No, I know that.
Well, I'm saying like,
yeah,
you recognize that because last year you didn't even take ownership of that.
No,
and then you finally recognized like
take accountability.
I was really being a lazy butt.
Yeah,
and then you didn't like the fact that you were lazy. And you're feeling a certain way.
I could go ahead and talk about that. So I've had it. Well, not anymore. I used to have an eating disorder. I was bulimic for I really don't know. So again, this is just vulnerability with talking about this. But it's like part of me, how I am. I'm very like on myself. I'm super hard on myself. I'm working on changing on being a perfectionist. To me, it's like, I'm the type of person that, in my head, I want something to go a certain way. And when it doesn't, I don't know what to do. I have a major freak out. You've seen me, like, pace around the house, or I freak out, I get angry, I lash out. And it's like, this was supposed to go this way, or no, this, and you tell me, no, life happens. You have to learn to, like, be adaptable. And to me, it's like, I'm still trying to process and figure out how to do that. So even with my training, it's like, well,
like you're trained.
No.
I mean, I coach you.
Yeah, you coach me. You're probably like, damn, this girl's a mess.
I just think, fine, let it all out. Let me let it out now, guys. I coached you and I programmed you, but you wouldn't do anything.
No.
And then I would just stop, and then you'd ask me, why'd you stop? And I'm like, well, you're not even in the right headspace to even be coached, because you have to kind of release and surrender to everything that you want and that you need, so you can get that, right? You were so like negative on everything that when I looked at it, I said, I'm not going to coach you until you're really like gun-ho, like you're like, okay, I'm going to fucking do it, right? And you didn't want to do it. You didn't want to do the work. You didn't want to, like, even now, like, like you say you want to wake up early to go do a workout, but you don't wake up early, right? She's been saying this for the last like 20 years, it seems like. But it's also like, now okay, what can I do to get up early? Because on days like this where you're working all day and then we come here and I'm doing stuff all day and then I come here, I try to balance out as much as I can of life and you. And so, and running, of course. So it's just, if you know you have to do something later today and you have to get a workout in, you're going to have to either suck it up and get up early and do it, or you have to come home, feel rushed to do it and have a million other things to do, and then rush over here, and then you're not in the right headspace. So it's like, in reality, it's really just holding yourself accountable for like what you want to achieve and what you want to do, and I think
I'm not a morning person. I'll take ownership on that.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm not.
I never was either.
No,
literally,
I just have to make time for it.
And literally,
habits.
I was in that position where, I call them the moms of Westlake. I trained these moms out at 5:30, and they said they would need a morning a morning time, and I was just jokingly saying, yeah, we could do 5:30, but I didn't think they would like do it right. And then all of a sudden, they said, yeah, that actually works out better. I was like, oh shit, that means I need to go to sleep early, right? And I need to go to bed at a certain time frame, wake up at a certain time frame. And I wake up anywhere from between 4:30, like 4:15 to 4:40, right, depending on the day. And so
I literally don't even hear you wake up.
yeah, I'm literally like a ninja.
Well, I'm a
And
deep sleeper also. I don't hear anything.
So I mean, like, I think when I put myself in that position, it was hard for the first week or two, to be honest with you. And then once I got in a good rhythm, you know, like, I think thanks to our dietitian Noah, she really got me a good place to like talk about those feelings, and sleeping and recovery and what it does to the body. And you know, because of her, I got an Oura ring. And I really started looking at everything else in life, and then so I had to hold myself accountable. So like this, it's funny because this whole episode, I told her, I said we should talk about accountability. I don't want to talk about that. I just want to talk about racing. And I'm like, okay, we can talk about vulnerability. I don't need to talk about that. Well, we can talk about being consistent. I don't want to talk about that. Let's just talk about racing. And then all this stuff started happening. She started crying in the car, and I was like, okay, see, we're talking about 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4. And so it all ties in, I think, with life itself.
Yeah.
And
It does, and I think also your feelings also affect the way you train. Like, I'm not gonna go into too much details about this, but it's like sometimes there's emotions that happen where there's things in life where I was very angry the last 2 months, getting in this weird mindset.
well, it wasn't even like, I mean, it's not even like talking about the negativity in your life. It was just like,
I think I just let this situation just over consume me.
well, it's just
And
in
it's
general, like you allow yourself, like we're all guilty.
Yeah, we
right?
all do it.
We all like hold on to grudges,
Yeah.
right? But man,
Oh,
her
I'm
being
queen,
cancer,
I'm queen
she's-
of holding
ooh,
grudges.
ooh, look at my face. Ooh. But you know, I think in general, like you tend to hold on to a lot. Like I said, like that's why we call it dig deep, right? So you could dig into that well
Yeah.
and release why you hold on to grudges for so many years and months. I swear to God, like those memes about females remembering stuff from like 20 years ago on this month, on this day, at this time. You know, it's like totally true. She can pop up things from that long ago, but she can't pop up what she ate last week, you know? And I'm like, what
Can't
the
even
heck?
remember what I did yesterday.
So to me, I'm like, but I think you're holding on to so much like negativity that it was affecting, like, it affected our dog.
Yeah.
You know, we had to take him to the vet because you're so angry, and he picks up on your energy more
yeah,
than
he's very
more than me.
empathic.
You know, so when she's feeling a certain way and stressed, then he kind of comforts her in that way. But then when he's with me, he's like a lazy butt, just wants to cuddle and hang out, right? And so, Mr. Cody.
Oh, he's the best.
But I mean, I think you've had to like learn from that, because I think I told you, I think at one point I said, man, you're so angry right now, like it's just really destroying like our relationship lately with you coming home, and I think I literally had to tell you, like, to stop talking about it. I was like, I was so over it, like it was just driving me nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, that was just becoming almost like
she was like glued on it.
it was like word vomit almost, like Eddie, like literally that part in Mean Girls. I love this movie. But when Katie's talking about like any chance she gets to talk about it and anyone that wants to listen,
yeah,
that was me. And it's like, I can't believe I became that in this situation. I mean, I wasn't like going around gossiping, but it's like confining in my same group of friends that I talk to, and it's just having that realization, like, shit, I've become that, and I don't want to be that. It is not who
you're feeding
I
on that
am.
energy that you didn't need to feed.
No.
And I would send you everything, you know, spiritual stuff, Bible stuff, like whatever it may be, to help like relax you.
But I think it's something I had to go through to have that realization.
But also you had a conversation with Nick.
Yeah. Nick also did help me a lot.
You know,
with
Nick,
that. Our energy healer.
Spiritual guru.
Yep.
That helps us out with rebalancing. Our Zen, we'll call it our Zen. He helped us kind of see a different perspective from another standpoint, you know. He's very wise, and so it was good. But also even having conversations with our main man Ed over here, doing our audio and recording. I think it's kind of funny because even over the weekend, I literally said, man, we have like a whole pocketbook full of people that like, we have Scott that can talk to us about like everything from financials to business ideas to whatever, right? And then we have Ed that can do the same thing, but also get another level of how to like build the business. And then we have Nick that like sets a tone of like how to like keep our energy high and vibrate high. And then we have Audrey, our therapist, that can like literally just like reground us and kind of put things in a different perspective. And I honestly think like having those people in our pockets have helped you these last few weeks kind of take accountability for all those things that you were not like, you're blaming other aspects and not looking into yourself and being like, am I the problem? Or all these motherfuckers the problem, right?
Well,
it was like,
I still don't think I'm the problem in this situation.
Well,
but,
but regardless, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I got what you mean. But I was the problem for allowing. It's like, what I learned, it's like, I can't keep giving someone my power. Like, only I have control over my power. And that's what I learned in this. And I'm not going to be getting angry anymore because there's certain people or situations that happen, and clearly like it kind of made me really see, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, but I'm learning as I go, so it's also a beautiful thing. But now I see, like, sometimes I'm like I could be a little conniving on that side when I see somebody being a horrible person. I'm like, haha, that's what they get. But I shouldn't be that way. That's horrible. It's like, but it's also acknowledging if someone's a certain way. I kind of see it now, and I'm like, wow, that's really sad that some people live that way. That person just needs prayer over them. And to me,
that's what Keith said that one time.
Yeah, and
to that another situation with me, and
I just looked at you like, I roll again. Here we go with my famous eye rolls. Like, ugh. But I think certain situations I have to go through it to experience it, to see it, and then see bigger picture, where I'm just like, wow, it's, if somebody wants to live their life in that vibration, treat people like crap, talk shit, cause drama, whatever it is, or like make your life miserable, or whatever the hell that person is doing, that's on them. Like, that's their life. And in conversations with God, when I was listening to the section in the book, was talking about people's upbringings.
Of course.
And it made me really think, oh no, it wasn't conversations with God. It was something else I was listening to.
Probably Wayne Dyer.
Probably Wayne Dyer. Yeah, it actually was Wayne Dyer that was actually talking about when you see people's upbringings, or you find out they could have had a hard life, or certain things are learned behaviors. It makes you see them in a different perspective. But the most important thing I've learned are boundaries.
Yeah,
and it's all leading to everything, like situations, like boundary. It's like the universe kept showing.
Well, Nick told you that too.
Yeah, that too. But the universe kept giving me, like, and you, different scenarios of boundaries. It was just interesting, even to like close family and our like, here's a boundary. You gotta set a boundary there. You gotta set a boundary over here.
And typically, I'm like a passive aggressive with certain things, or I kind of get suckered in and do it. But even like your sister asked me to do something, and I was like, I don't have any fucking time.
Yeah, you're just being honest.
And I was honest, and I never really. I usually say, nah, it's fine. I'll figure it out. But this time I was like, nope. I was like, I got no time to do that. I can't even balance what's going on right now with my life. How am I supposed to balance and do some stuff for you? Like, there's no way. And I felt guilty for a day. And then I said,
the thing is, she didn't even get mad or anything. So I guess
it was just more of
it's more of within yourself.
Yeah, more of my own judgment on myself for feeling like piece of shit.
Oh
know
my
what I mean?
God, you're not even a piece
I
of
know
shit.
that, but like, you could feel like that for not helping out family, right? But then it's also like looking at it and be like, I gotta take care of myself first. So if I don't take care of myself, how am I supposed to take care of everyone else around me?
Well, here's the thing. Also, part of how you and I are, it's like the whole people pleaser aspect. It's like you don't want to disappoint someone. You always want to be there for someone. But like you're over here juggling and doing all this stuff, and that's how I am. Like I'm like dying inside, and it's like, why didn't I say no? Or why didn't I speak up?
Yeah.
So it's like too much of like, well, I don't want to hurt that. Like, even though that person hurt my feelings, I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah, no, totally.
So it's like finding that balance and just having that realization of, okay, I'm not going to suppress anymore. I'm just going to be honest and speak my truth. Some people may like it. Some people may hate it, but whatever. I'm not here to be impressing anybody.
No, I know. And I think that's like, when we look at this whole podcast, I told her, I said, wow, we have like, within the time frame of posting it, we have like 25 plays, like, and I told myself, wow, that's actually awesome to know, like 25, the audience was around 22 people listened to it, and I was like, wow, that's like awesome to know, like, people listened to our first episode and supported us. And, we're not going to, the whole process of this wasn't to like be a YouTube superstar. If it happens, right? It was just more like people like to talk to us. People like to share a lot. Like people opened up to us. Even like I could literally meet someone at the store and I can have a conversation and all of a sudden they open up about everything. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Like I just learned about their whole life.
I've had that happen too.
And so, but I mean, I like that. I like being like that type of coach too. Like, even though I don't think like, I can sit there and be like, oh, life coaching, like you can get a degree. But I think when you're naturally gifted and you can talk well and people can like come up to you and really open up, I think that really shows like you have that ability to coach someone off the ledge, Well,
I see you and hear you when you're talking. Not that I'm eavesdropping or anything, but sometimes I'll be passing by in the kitchen doing something or whatever. I hear you when you're talking. I'm thinking, wow, that's really good advice, whoever he's talking to. Yeah,
I mean, I like giving out advice. I mean, I think that's how like me and Keith connected when we first met, because he was new to the trail scene, and then I started talking to him a little bit more, and it became like super cool, and he like really listened to me and really took what I had to say, and I didn't have to feel ashamed of saying certain things and like opening up to him, you know what I mean? And then we became family. Same thing with my boy Chris that lives in China, my boy Donnie. I grew up with those guys my whole life, and they never judged me at all. They never said anything negative, even when I was having situations with you growing up, because we were so young, they never looked at you any differently. Like, I think having that support system definitely helped out. And I think sometimes when like your loved one tells you one thing, but then you hear like another person from a different perspective say it, I think it opens up people's like awareness of like, wow, like, man, I am a dick. You know what I mean? And so, or whatever, I'm just kidding, but whatever it may be. But I'm just saying, like, you start to realize a lot of the stuff and a lot of the habits.
Yeah.
And we had this conversation here, and I'm like, man, I'm consistent with my running, right? But I'm not consistent with other things in life that I try to be. Like, I stopped doing my morning routines. I started going to bed later again. And then my weightlifting is getting back to the routine again, so that's perfect. I went to the grocery store today, got some stuff.
I get so happy when you do things like that for me.
All those damn bougie yogurts. And then what else? I mean, like just like taking out Cody out. I mean, it's butt ass hot right now. It's like 90 degrees out.
And
here.
I feel bad because he wants to go out, but nope.
5 minutes in, or 5 minutes outside, he's like done.
Yeah,
so he comes back inside. But I think it's just like trying to balance the life in general. And I think when we talk about being consistent, I don't think it's always like, even though this is from running to spirituality, I know a lot of it was going to be based on running today, but I also believe like being consistent in life with your significant other or your job. I mean, like, after so many months of us talking about our website, we started updating.
Finally did it.
Started updating more of that. And I spent more time today doing that, and that's hard. And being an entrepreneur, I mean, that's what it's all about. It's not like a lot of people want instant, right? Gratification for that stuff, but it's like it takes longer to process, right? And so
now.
I know, right? So now it's like when I look back at everything, figuring out how many people I had when I first started really putting everything in, and how many people I have now that I coach, it's like night and day. It's because I've been really putting in the work of like, how can I build this brand that we want? And what I mean by brand is build our community, knowing that like Run Free is not just a running community.
Yeah.
Like we also like to get involved with other aspects and help other small businesses, like even with energy healing, like that's on the website now. So that's like her specialty.
I know.
And we're adding more to that, so she's going to be more of in the realm of that, because now that she's she broke down herself.
Yeah.
She talked about vulnerability. Now she's like, okay, now I can put herself more on the website, not just like pictures of me. It's okay. Now she feels comfortable enough and confident enough to be like, okay, I do this shit, and you do this, right? So, and that's what we needed. It's a partnership. I think
that's what we needed too. And I think a lot of it was my lack of self-esteem and knowing I didn't know my worth. Oh, drop the cap. I didn't know my worth, and I think a lot of it was just not having that confidence. And finally now I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of like being this way. It's time for me to come out of my shell and be more like, if this is what again, back to authentic self, if this is my purpose on earth is to help people with whatever it is, like balancing your chakras or helping you plant seeds in your head to help you have a better life, then so be it. I'm just following whatever messages I get from God.
Yeah.
And it took, now I'm going to go back to Conversations of God. So you sent me this book and I sat on the audiobook for maybe 2 weeks.
No, longer than that.
I'm not taking accountability right there. I don't know.
No,
well,
longer.
Yeah.
I've been telling you about it, and then I finally sent it to you, but I knew you weren't ready. I knew you weren't ready to hear it yet, so I never sent it, even though I told you I would. I just knew, like...
I wasn't ready.
Because you were like... Because if you're ready and you're at that stage in your life, you're like, okay, I'm ready to finally listen to this. Because I would talk about this. Like, literally, I sent this book to, like, 4 people, I think. And I was like, bro, you're like, these are all my athletes. And I said, you're going through a lot of shit. Like, here's this book. And then literally it's only volume 1. I haven't even got like the other volumes.
Oh, there's a lot of volumes?
Yeah. This is only the first part of it. And I keep re-listening to it because it helps you take yourself out of the situation and look at it from like a different perspective, a higher perspective. And it's a great read, but I knew you weren't ready for that. You know? Like you weren't even... Like you were talking about it, and then when you finally, I think one time I got home from a run, and then I
was lifting weights, listening to it.
Yeah, and then I said, "Wow, she's finally like doing the work, right?"
I think that's what, and actually, it's funny that you said I wasn't ready for it. In the book, it actually talks about when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Oh, I'm their teacher.
But the book, the audiobook, when I was listening to it, he was talking about how his experience was, how he heard God. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. And I actually had an experience with that when I was driving. I started having really bad anxiety when I was driving. And it's something I deal with on and off because I got in a bad car accident years ago. So I still have PTSD from that accident. So on and off, I'll sometimes get really anxious when I drive. And I put on the book. I need to listen to something to uplift me. And then I heard, turn that off. I'm going to talk to you right now.
Yeah.
And I thought, wait, what was that? Is that my higher self? Is it God? I'm really confused on what I'm hearing and shocked. And is this my ego? Like, all these thoughts were going through my head, and like as I'm like having this like lizard brain with thought after thought, it's like the voice again, and it was my voice, but it was like a very, I can't explain it. It was very confident and very assertive. No, it's me, God. I'm going to talk to you right now. Turn that off, and you're okay.
Yeah.
And I am within. And I thought, wow, that is so, like, I get chills when I think about it, because it's like, it was just so, for me, it was just very profound.
Of course.
Because I'm like having really bad anxiety. I'm like doing breathing techniques, all this stuff. And it's like, why can't I get this? Why can't I shake it off? And so I said it again. I am within. I kid you not, I felt like something leave my stomach, like that, I guess is the anxiety. And so I was just back to breathing, and now I say that whenever I start feeling that anxious feeling that I get, I am within, because God is within. God is always around. And so...
What's that verse that they say that's in the Bible? Where they say it's like it's in every page or whatever, don't be afraid. You know, kind of thing. And I feel like I want to say I live my life like that, but I don't, because I still get afraid. I mean, we all deal with anxiety. We all deal with a lot of other things. It's just, it's just like knowing where to, like what to do with it and how to deal with it, right? Because you're always going to feel, you're always going to have some type of knowing, like, but when you finally release and let go to God, you know, I think that's why it's such a great book, and that's why I'm happy that you finally like listened to it. I've listened to it like 5 times already. It's about, the first volume is about 3 hours, close to 3 hours. So on these longer runs I've done, I literally just zone out and listen to it. I'm like, wow, what a great like 3-hour run I just did listening to this audiobook and then listening to Wayne Dyer. You know, it just puts things in more of a perspective of like, if I can realign myself to what I want to be and what I want to achieve, then everything else in life's going to feel much easier.
Yeah.
And you're in alignment to who you are, and you're vibrating higher. You're not grumpy. You're not snappy. You're not angry. All those things that you felt for 2 months. You know, I thought she was going to punch a wall. I was like, holy shit, man, she is fucking pissed. And she never gets like that.
I'm pretty scary. I'm like the type of person that, like, I'm going to say I'm nice 99% of the time, but the 1% I get pissed. Like, even my own best friend, Matt, when I get pissed, I don't know why people walk away. They'll walk away, and if I'm in a situation, because sometimes it just takes a lot for me to, like, speak up and get that angry. And when my friends see that, they're like, oh, shit, she's about to snap on this person. Snap, I'm going to walk away. And it's like, why are you guys leaving? You don't want me to punch him? No, I'm just kidding. I would
like
never do that.
Mama Bear comes out. She's
the
like,
Mama Bear comes out, yeah.
Overprotective over me. Yeah, I think the kindness that I have can be interpreted wrong to certain people, right? So then people just take advantage of me. And so I've learned that I've had to set the boundary, how to set the tone, and I hate to be that person too, but it's also like more loving to yourself when you feel a certain way. You can actually talk about it and not suppress it like we've done, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I've learned that I got to be accountable for everything. Like, even you dealing with yourself, I had to deal with some stuff, and even when I said some stuff, you were like, whoa, I can't believe you said that, you know? And she was proud of me, because as a kid, I've always suppressed every emotion. I was like the rock. Even in a relationship, I'm the rock, right? So when all hell breaks loose, you know, I'm the one sitting there just like a Buddha, just sitting there like Zen as much as I can. And that's what everyone calls me at the gym, you know, that I work at a few hours a day. They're like, oh, you're like the Buddha here, like the Zen master. And I'm like, well, I just don't let shit get to me anymore. You know, I like try not to like let it affect me, even though there's days where it does. But like, I try not to come home and hold on to it, because what's the purpose of that, right? And what's the purpose of me punching a wall or like getting angry or whatever it may be at those times, even though I haven't done that. But it's just...
You used to.
Oh, yeah, sometimes I used to, back in early 20s. But That was like 20 years
Yeah.
ago. I'm a little more wiser.
No, I'm just laughing because
But
it's just funny.
Yeah, no, it's like, you know,
We've
you
been
look,
there, done that.
you
type
look
of
at
thing,
stuff
yeah.
that you used to do back then and what worked out for you, and now you look at stuff that works out for you now, and it's like so much better. We have such a better mindset with that. You know, we've learned how to like, you know, control those feelings and not go down the hill that
Yeah.
Audrey always says, you know.
Yeah, with the car.
The
Oh,
car
the
analogy,
car
going
analogy.
down a
Yep.
hill, you know. So once you go down that hill, oh man, you gotta hold on tight.
I've done that way too many times with where I like full on brake there or full on accelerator with my car going straight down the hill rather than pulling over to the side and thinking through. Or the most famous one is telling the little Audie in the back seat that
Little
everything's going to be okay.
Mhm.
And that's what I've had that realization. So with the training, before that I was in such a good headspace with like being very consistent because I was really determined and doing stuff. But you know, I even though I went through a lot of shit over the past few months, I'm very grateful that God showed me what I need to work on, because I just think it's important as an energy healer. I want to be the best version of myself so I could show up to help anybody in the.
Of course.
So it's like, can you imagine if I'm like going in and I'm like a fucking mess, like, oh, your chakras need balancing, and I'm over here like, damn, like, look at my life. I mean, we all go through stuff, it happens, but if this is something that I'm gonna do,
You're just not in the right headspace to
No,
help someone out
I can't.
when you're not, you
Yeah.
know, like, and it's funny because there's a lot of spiritual people out there that are in that same boat, right? But like, when you really like realign yourself and you really get down to the nitty gritty of it, like you being pissed off and then trying to help a client is not gonna.
It's
the
not gonna
energy,
help,
the
yeah.
energy is gonna be completely different, and we've been around that, you know,
Yeah.
years ago with our old life coach.
oh God.
And
Yeah.
that's another story right there. But like, it's also like we
Yeah.
learned from that after seeing Audrey and Nick. Like, that wasn't a great headspace for that person to work on us.
No, it actually
And we
made
never,
it worse for
and
us
yeah,
too.
we didn't want that.
Yeah.
We didn't want to come off like that to people that we've done
Like-
energy work for and stuff like that, because it really does, like, it's all energy. It all translates because you guys, like, we mesh our stuff together.
Yeah,
And so
everything-
when our auras are, you know, in the same realm, you know, we're going to pick up on you. I pick up on you all the time.
Oh, I could pick up on people all the time too, and that's
Yeah.
when even it's funny when we go to like I guess psychic fairs or any events, I'm so particular of who's going to give me a reading, because I'm like, I could feel something with that person. I can't. There's just something that doesn't feel right, or like if I see certain things, like right away, like my intuition picks up on it, where, okay,
course.
no, I can't get a reading by them. Like there's
course.
just something off about that person. I don't know what, but I hope whatever they're going through, they fix it before they start trying to like tell people how to live a life. Because
Yeah.
it's sad to see that, because we went through that. We went through somebody that we thought we could trust, that was a spiritual life coach, and ended up making things 100 times worse. And so after that experience,
It kind of tainted us with life coaching.
yeah.
And so we just said we don't want a life coach, and I don't even know if there's a real. I mean, like, you know, I think there's classes where you can become certified life coach, right? But I think when you've been through a lot and you understand the psychology of that, and really understand like energy and stuff like that, you can definitely coach someone. Not being a life coach, but you can literally coach someone out of that, of the situation that they've been in. And I've done that multiple times to a lot of people. You've done that to a lot of people. People come up to us and they thank us for that. You know, I think sometimes people just need to release that crap, and that's why I think maybe that's our purpose right now. Like, it seems like my purpose right now is just helping out people physically, maybe mentally, maybe just being a person with no judgment. You know? You know, it's funny because everyone always said, you know, what do I call you? Like, do I just call you Brandon? And I'm like, nah, just call me B. And then all of a sudden, everyone started calling me Coach B. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, man, maybe I'm coaching people through, like, not just the training, but life itself, you know?
And we write it made me think of if you ever see on our Strava, therapy ride, therapy. What is
Oh
it?
yeah, therapy run,
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
Tuesday therapy.
Tuesday therapy, Thursday therapy. It's usually Thursdays.
Yeah, it's usually.
You know.
That's actually a time where I miss that. We haven't done that in a while. Where I'm riding my bike and you're running, I'm pacing you, and we just talk about
Everything.
everything. And so that's
It's
our
pretty much
therapy.
what we're doing here right now. It's kind of like now we're in a platform where we can kind of share. I mean, you can take us with a grain of salt, right? And you can listen to it, or you can listen to us and really apply it to your everyday life. We're not here to say, hey, sign up with us and you get this and that.
No.
It's just more like, I think it's more just like we like to talk about all this stuff and like to help out as much as we can. If our audience is 5 and our audience is like 1 million, at least those people that tuned and listened to the whole entire thing got something out of it, and I'm very thankful to have what I have now, and I hope to keep reaching to more people, more of an audience with this platform, but also the audio world, Spotify. Apple's a little complicated, it seems like right now. But I don't know. I think we're trying to we're getting to our natural state of what we should be in.
Yeah.
We weren't like that at all. We were so like, we don't want to put that on the website. We don't want to do this. We don't want to talk to people like this.
We're afraid of judgment because it's like sometimes when I talk about some of this stuff, I'm like, people are going to either love it or think I'm batshit crazy. But you know what? I don't care. It's who I am, and that's all I could say. I mean, I'm not going to change who I am just to have a certain friend. Clearly, if somebody doesn't like me, that's fine. I'm not everyone's cup of tea.
I mean, I've met, like, just from SoCal Trail, being part of the team and being part of the Tour of LA and stuff, I've met so many great people and, like, opened up to them, and they've opened up to me, and it's been such an amazing ride with that, knowing that, like, I can have the best of both worlds of what I believe in, and still have the spiritual aspect of the woo-woo. I said on the last episode, the woo-woo.
The woo-woo.
But like meshing those things together, because in reality, it's all energy. And so if I can have that same outlook on what I believe in and use that type of woo-woo-ness, right, then I'm more in alignment to myself and what I want to achieve. And I think, it's so funny, like we were totally talking about consistency, vulnerability, and accountability, but like I guess it all full circle for us anyway,
Authentic.
Now
self.
she's holding herself accountable for everything she said today. She was vulnerable because she broke down, to me earlier and broke down on here with you guys, and that never really happens.
I usually don't really like to cry in front of people. I just try to always hold it together, and I'm like the type of person, if I'm gonna cry, I'm like, I feel it, I like hurry up and run somewhere so no people don't see me cry.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay though.
Yeah.
No more judgment on anything. No more judgment on yourself. So if you're listening to this and you feel like it's relatable to you, like don't judge yourself for any of that stuff. And really just take accountability for like, be accountable for yourself, like whatever it may be, if it's running, if it's life, like kind of give yourself, that nice little hug to yourself, knowing that like it's perfectly fine to have these feelings, perfectly fine to feel that way, to have those emotions. Just don't suppress it anymore. Don't let it consume you,
because it will affect
everything else that you're going through. And we definitely don't want that at all. And I definitely want people to be more happy and excited in life, and maybe sometimes you're put in a situation so you can learn and grow from that. And I think having this platform has taught us how to grow spiritually, and how to be more confident within ourselves and in front of you guys. I mean, and like this podcast is not serious. It's just a fun podcast to like joke, have fun, talk about life, talk about spirituality, running.
I laugh a lot, so.
You know what I mean? I was about to get the tambourine out here and play it out.
You should have. But I would probably
like,
laugh for 20 minutes because I'm the type of person, again, me and Matt, my best friend, we see something funny, we watch a movie, we will literally spend the whole night rewinding that scene over and over laughing, or literally laugh at something for God who knows how long. Like, I laugh. There's something that we laugh about that's been 15 years, because I've known him since high school, that we still laugh about till this day. Like, I'll randomly
laugh about
we
it.
had a friend that we had a friend that fell at the time, and she fell at a restaurant, and it was like slow motion, and I'll randomly text him and be like, hey, remember when so-and-so fell? And he's like, oh my God. And I'll be laughing. And my coworkers probably are thinking, man, she's on crack. Why is she always, I'm like always laughing. And sometimes they'll say, are you okay up there? But for me, laughter is the best medicine.
Of course.
It's helped me get through life and bring inner peace.
Yeah, I'm glad. I think,
You make me laugh though.
of course.
Yeah.
Man, it's been almost an hour.
Oh my.
So it might be time to end this episode.
Yeah.
But I know this has been a lot of rambling from our perspective of life and running. And hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you want to follow us, if you're local and you want to run with us, we run on Wednesdays. We're trying to figure out the weekends right now. It's a little crazy with summer and everything.
Yeah.
But we are still doing our Wednesday night runs. She's going to be leading the Wednesday night.
Yeah, this one.
At YMCA.
Well,
So-
I'm not sure when someone's listening to this, but the date is 6/26.
Oh, yeah, it is, huh?
Yeah.
Today's the 24th already.
I can't even read the...
So she's
My
going to be leading her
watch.
first time. So now she's taking ownership of leading stuff when I can't do it.
Yeah, old me was like, I'm not doing it. If you can't do it, well, I'm not going to do it, but not anymore.
So now she's going to lead
Yeah.
it because I'll be doing another running event in the Valley that day. So I got to be part of that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, this is good stuff. So Run Free Running Club. If you want to support us in any way, show up. Our runs are free. They're not like, it's funny because people think there's like some club fee.
Really?
Yeah, people
Oh.
always write me asking, is there a club fee? And there's never a club fee. This is literally on our time. It's literally like we just love being part of the community,
Yep.
helping out.
Talking,
Body, mind, and spirit.
meeting. Yep. Meeting new people, and especially if you have a dog. I love animals, and shout out to Justin's dog, Wilder.
Mr. Wilder.
And you need to bring him out to a run someday.
Hope you kill it this Saturday for your half marathon. I've been coaching Justin for the last 2 months, so it's been great seeing the growth in him within 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Run Free Running Club, Wednesday night runs. Follow us on Instagram, Run Free Running Club.
I'm Run Free Adriana.
I'm Run Free Brandon on our social media, Instagram. We don't have Twitter yet, or X. Facebook is not really. We don't really.
That's more for family.
Yeah, that's
stuff.
family stuff. But then Strava too. So Strava, if you don't have Strava, or if you do have Strava, it's a workout where you can. It's a workout app where you can kind of check out groups and stuff like that. It's Run Free Running Club on there.
And then I'm Audie Fravel on there.
And I'm just Brandon Lee Fravel.
You're Brandon Lee on there?
Yeah, Brandon Lee Fravel. I think that's what it is. Super Asian, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's your half.
I didn't have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, look, we just love for anyone to come out there. Don't be shy. Don't be nervous. We have all levels. Join us.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter your pace. I mean, I know there's some people that will message you and say, well, I'm like a 16-minute. And it's like, it doesn't matter.
We all kind of like
I
just
stay
love to
with-
support
yeah.
each other. I mean, she typically runs with
I like to
the low mile group.
the
and
low mile, and then if beginners, even from beginner to, I've had even people in your group join me because they're on a taper week. But I just want people to know, like, if you're completely new to running, come out. I'll run with you. If you have to walk because you're not used to running the whole time, I'll run and walk with you. I've always told Brandon, it doesn't matter how much I progress.
Don't be scared.
I want to be there with someone because I saw my progression because of you helping me and training me. That, to me, that was a huge gift.
Yeah.
For me, so thank you for
Of course,
that. And
course.
so I cherish what you gave, like how, well, it's not that you gave me, how you trained me, and I deeply from the bottom of my heart really appreciate that.
Of course.
So it's such a good feeling that to me, in return,
You want to do the same thing for people.
I want to do the same for other people.
And I think that's why we're trying to build this platform to like let people know about us and what we want to accomplish, because we definitely want more out of what we have right now, because I know there's like it's beyond just running for us. It's really helping out each and every person that comes out in any retrospect, even if that means hiring me as a coach or just having me listen to some of the things that you're going through, like whatever it may be. I want to be there for you, and so you're more than welcome to hit me up for any of that.
Well, I think it's become more of like, because we've gone through anxiety and a lot of
We've been through a lot.
We've been through a lot, yeah.
Trauma.
So it's one of those things, it's like how we want to give back to the community with helping people that are going through, like, a lot of the times when you're going through something hard, you just really need that friend to talk to.
That person.
A person, a friend, whoever it is.
So we're here for you.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, shoot, we're already at an hour now, right, Ed?
Yep.
Ed, see, he knows.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll definitely end on that note. But yeah, definitely check us out, scope us out, reach out to us. We love to just hang out, talk, and go for a run.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Peace.
you. Bye.
Sweet, I'm so tired of
I did not expect to cry. I like started